Right, as you can see, I've drawn the half-inch lines, pardon me, and now if I place the Dremel on the top, you can see how I should be using the lines to square it onto the sled. And that's what I'm going to be doing. I should be putting blocks here and on the other side as well, and they will sit against the brush housing on the Dremel. And as I said before, they're not going to be scratched, so they really glue in hard. They're just there to centralise it, so if there's any kick or anything, they'll break free and the Dremel will hopefully be saved. But we'll see how it goes. Right, I'm off to now prepare the bits of metal and cut the blocks ready to mount on the sled. Alright, talk to you again. You're in at this point where I've made the first bracket to hold the Dremel in position, and as you can see I've stuck some self-adhesive draft excluder inside to protect the plastic of the Dremel, and also to take some of the vibration out as well when the Dremel's actually running. Now I'm going to make the next one, which will sit across there. I will have to bring the Dremel back slightly to clear the switch. I'll check that out in a bit. And also I've still got the two blocks to put in place up against the brush housings, so that we get the Dremel absolutely perpendicular. But I'll worry about that once I've made the brackets. But at least you can see how it goes together. There's no nuts underneath, because that allows me then to tighten these down to a point where they won't go any further, and I know the Dremel is clamped solid. But I've got to do this back one first and get the blocks in position, because the back has to come down first, because that's the most levelest place, and then this will be, the front part will be pulled down tight, and because this end is clamped solid, it isn't going to do this business. Okay then peeps, I just thought I brought you on and show you that, and I'll now get stuck in to the second bracket and the two blocks. Yeah, I'm making these brackets. I know it's not rocket science and anybody can do it, but for those who've never done anything like this before, it's going to be a good lesson. Now, once you've got your piece of metal cut, and be careful, because once you cut it, whichever way you cut it, the edges are sharp, so get a file and run the edges down. If you haven't got a file, go on the concrete, run it along the concrete a few times. I'll do the same job. Not as good, but it'll stop you cutting yourself. Okay, so once you've done that, don't make the mistake of going, right, I need a hole there and I need a hole there, and you've got it like that. Because that ain't going to work, and neither is the camera in that position. So let me get you in a position where you can see what the hell I'm on about. Right. I'll remember to get you on cameras one day. I'll turn the screen around so I can see what you're seeing. There you go, Raymond. That wasn't easy. It wasn't difficult, was it? No, Raymond. So shut up. Right. So what you need to do is do one hole at a time. So we start with this one with about, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch. Alright, I'm going to measure it. Right, let's have a look. Oh, you want it in millimetres, don't you? Right, from the centre of the bolt to the edge of the metal, 10 mil. Okay? And then all you're doing is just, it doesn't have to be super accurate. And then mark yourself where you're going to draw your hole. Right, now then, start with a pilot hole. Do not try and drill straight through with the final hole, because if it catches, you'll have a big hole in this. I mean, really you should do this in a vise on a pillar drill, but if you're sensible, then you know it's not going to cause you any harm. Alright? So you use a pilot drill to start with, and you don't drive it straight through in one go. You first of all get the drill in the chuck properly. Right. Okay, alright, now, you saw that fly up. Now, imagine if that had been this. Something you do not want to try and imagine. Okay, oh, I see what that was. Oh, my drill's bent. Oh well, I knew there was something queer about it. Right, again with the larger drill, slowly but surely. Putting some pressure on the drill as you're doing it. Don't try and force it through with all your weight. You just want enough weight for the drill to bite. Right. Now, excuse me, if you'd have gone half for leather and it had lifted, then it would have dug in your hand like that. So, slowly but surely, okay? Now, if you haven't got a file, like I haven't, what I find works, and works very well, get pliers, clamp over the hole, and it breaks some of the, pardon me, the metal off, but the other metal, see that's not cutting my hand, thumb now. Right, open your pliers, long moves are better, and open up the hole to give you a clear hole. Okay, but once again it's raised up the edges, so you just squeeze it down so it's reasonably smooth, and double check that you haven't obstructed the hole again. Now, do not, under any circumstances when trying to get the hole to fit, do not put the drill in and like you would in a piece of wood, right? Don't, because you could have your fingers off. Alright? So now we've got the first part. Now what we need to do is bend it, again, approximately 10 mil from the centre. Hold it flat in the pliers like that, and then bend it at 90 degrees to start with. And then all you do is go down to just about half the distance of the Dremel, okay, and then bend the metal over to lie alongside the other bolt. Alright, then with your marker take it down so you've got about 10 mil again sticking out, and then just mark it, okay? Take it off and mark the centre roughly, alright? Excuse me. Okay, change the drill over. Yes, I know it's a lot of drill changing, but it keeps you safe, keeps your fingers on your hand. Okay, once again, slowly but surely. Right, that was better. It didn't raise up. Okay, I know I'm spouting on about safety, but the safety aspects of this whole project is in your hands, and if I didn't point them out to you, then you could blame me for not saying anything. So I am saying something, and just listen to what I say about safety, and that way you keep all your fingers. You better say good night to the boss on a Friday. A lot easier. Right, here we go again. That is for those of you who like to say good night to your boss on a Friday. Anyway, see, the edge has been taken off that simply by clamping it down with the pliers. And then once again we open it back up to make sure we're clear. And then once again, you just clamp it down So it's nice and safe for our fingers, and that's a bit tight, so we do it again. And it doesn't matter which side you do it on, just don't go silly, because you don't need to, don't need to be making great big holes. And there we go. Right, so now we can get rid of the drilling block. I know I said I was going to make the blocks and get them ready for gluing in position, but I sat down with a nice cup of tea, got comfy, and it went out the window. So I thought I'd come and do the other bracket, then I'll go and do the blocks. Okay, so now we want to bend that so that we can clamp it down. So what we do, same as before, about 10 mil in, same distance from the centre to the edge, okay, which is about there. Pliers up to your fingers like that, and 90 degrees. Ever so simple. And then put one side on, and the other side on, and there you go. And as luck would have it, the drummer was in the right position. Okay, and that's all there is to the metalwork side of it. Right, so now we take this off, get our scissors and our draft excluder, and we simply cut two pieces that fit in there like that. Doesn't have to be millimetre, perfect to within 1/1000th of an inch. As I've said before, when asked how close is too close to a lion, the lion tamer said, when you're close enough. Right, there's the other one. And no, these aren't going one on top of the other, these are going side by side. And all you do is you take the backing paper off, okay, line the one edge up with the edge of the steel, and then you just follow it round like that. And don't worry if you've got a little bit over like that, because all you do is just trim it off with the scissors. Okay, and we get the next one and take the backing paper off. And then this one goes down the other edge. And we're lucky with this one because it's just the right gap left. Doesn't have to be precise. Again, you just give it a good firm. See, that's how precise mine is. It's good enough. And then over we go. That's right. I'll just ease this back a little bit. That's it. Nothing, I haven't brought it back, about 1/32 of an inch. Not very far. Then we put our washers on. There are just flat washers and spring washers. Spring washers are there just to help stop it coming undone when it's working. I shan't worry about getting it central and perfectly flat until I've got the blocks in up against the brush housing openings, because they will give me my vertical that way, so it won't be able to do that or that, it will just be there. Then once I've got those in position, then I can clamp these down and they will hold the Dremel perfectly in line without any twisting. Now, a mistake I made earlier when I did the first one, I put the Dremel in and didn't check the locking button for the chuck, right? Consequently, it was down here. So you can imagine trying to hold it from behind and put your bit in. On top of which, as the sled came down, it would have jammed up against the bottom. Alright, so keep an eye out for that. That was something that I didn't. Right, I will let you go now. I'll prepare the blocks and I'll bring you back and show you me fitting the blocks. Okay then? Let's see you in a bit.